that is available to us. While the program was going on, the DG of Dawn Commission is here. We will also give him a chance to say something during the Q&A session. But for now, we must take Ms. Shubomi Plumter, because they're all going back to Lagos. Dr. Igbola is actually traveling. And of course, we can't keep Max NG here any longer than we have to. So without further ado, I really want you to welcome this remarkable person to the stage. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I really love technology. A few years ago, when blockchain applications became very popular, a lot of people have heard about Bitcoin. But I tell people that Bitcoin is just maybe one of 1,001 applications of blockchain technology. Now, the reason why I was really fascinated by blockchain technology is it's one of the few platforms, where a young man in Mushin can go on his phone, trade with a young girl in Brussels, and nobody cares about the color of his passport, nobody cares about his name, nobody cares about how much money he has in the bank. It's extremely democratic. So when Bitcoin became very popular and blockchain technology became very popular, I was really happy, because for a lot of people who have tried to do things internationally, you find that once people hear that you're a Nigerian, or once you try to use your card, sometimes your card gets declined because it's coming from Nigeria. So what technology does is that it provides a level playing field. You don't need to know any member of the cabal to interact with technology. You don't need to come from a rich home. You don't need to know anybody to interact with technology. So for the first time, we begin to see principles of democracy playing out in the technology sphere, where your success is dependent on what you know, the information that you have, and is dependent on the speed of your internet connection. That's all you need to be successful in the technology sphere. So when we talk about technology, take it very seriously. It's one of the most democratic platforms you're ever going to have, and that you're ever going to have the opportunity of participating in. Now, I'm going to be talking about digital sales and how to do it well. Now, how many people would like to, sit, cross their legs at home and make money without marketing, without going out to convince anybody about your product? You're just sitting down, crossing your legs, and you're just making money. How many people would like that? Good. That's what digital sales will do. Now, let me tell you a story. A couple of months ago, I was designated as the person in charge of food for a beach party that some friends of mine were putting together. I was told I needed to bring the food and I needed to bring the drinks. Now, because I'm a very occupied person, I left it to the last minute. The beach party is supposed to be on Sunday. As at Saturday evening, I hadn't made any arrangements. What did I do? Google. I just went to Google, and I happened to stay in Lekki in Lagos. So I went to Google and I said ice block in Lekki, because I needed to chill the drinks on a Sunday morning. So it meant I needed to pick up the ice block on Sunday and then move from there to the beach. So I went to my computer and I just went on Google, ice block in Lekki. Then I went to Google, Ketra in Lekki, because at this point I was desperate. I needed to make sure I delivered on my promise. Immediately I Googled ice block in Lekki, Google Maps came up. And then I saw a number of people who were selling ice block around me, and I could chart based on the location which ones were closest to my house. So I found a couple of vendors for ice block, and I remember driving to one of them, and immediately I got to, or rather I called them, because the phone number also pops up when you go to Google, you search for a business on Google. The phone number popped up, and then I called the lady and I said, do you have ice block for me to pick up on a Sunday morning? And she said, yes. Then I called the number of the person, the caterer, and I said, this is what I need, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you deliver on Sunday? And she said, yes. Sunday morning, I went up to pick my ice block. I went to pick the food that we needed, for the beach party. I had never met any of these people before. None of them came to market me. None of them spent any money trying to get me as a customer. I found them simply because of Google. That's the power of technology. And I'm going to teach you how to achieve that level, of sales and that level of business success using technology. Okay, it's in front of me. So if you're in this room and your business is not registered on Google Business, you're on a long thing. You're cheating yourself. You need to be on Google Business. Sorry, I know we're trying to live stream, but I can't stay in one place. Sorry. Okay. So if you're not on Google Business, you need to be registered immediately. When you're registered on Google Business and someone Googles the name of your business, all your information pops out, including a map to your location, your phone numbers. My current mechanic, I found him on Google. These are people that never marketed me. I was looking for a mechanic and I Googled mechanic in Lekki. And I found my current mechanic in Lekki. The first time I ever met my mechanic, because he sends someone to pick up my car and he drops off my car at home. So I had never set eyes on him. Because usually I'm at work when the car is picked up, and by the time I'm back from work, the car has been dropped off at home. So I had never met him. I just knew things were going on. All the monies were transferred via my banking app. So I never met him to exchange money. Everything was via transfer. The only time I met him, I just realized, oh, this mechanic, I've never really seen him before. Shouldn't I? And I just drove to his workshop, in Lekki, just to put a face to the person that had been transacting. Now, what you need to understand is technology is generational. This habit I'm describing is this generation. We don't need to see you to pay you money. I'm old for this generation, but the habits that I'm describing is how a typical member of this generation thinks. A few months ago, my nephew was singing the Star 737 song. He's 7. And I just heard him singing the song, and I was like, where did this boy pick up this song? Because I know he doesn't watch TV. His parents don't allow him, to watch normal TV. So I asked him, I said, where did you hear this GT Bank song? And he said he heard it on YouTube. That apparently in between watching his cartoons, because he uses the kids' version of YouTube. So in between watching his cartoons, the adverts, the Star 73 advert song came up and because he's been hearing it regularly, now, which bank do you think in the next 10 years that he's likely to do business with? Don't you think it's going to be GT Bank? Do you understand? So, technology, this sales, digital sales that we're talking about, this generation wants convenience. They want to sit down in their house and just type a few, clicks, and business is going on without any conversation, and they want to see the price. They don't want to haggle. So they want to be able to compare the price from A, B, C, D, and then make a decision based on who has the cheapest price. They don't need to talk to you to make that determination. So that's the way this generation thinks. So when we talk about technology, the people that use technology now, in 10 years, they will own the market. Just like when I started my job, GT Bank then had this wonderful chandeliers, piano in the banking hall. So a lot of us flocked to GT Bank then because of service, right? Now, 10, 15 years later, our companies are using GT Bank because they appeal to us as individuals And then 15 years later, when we then had money, our businesses went to the banks. So in the same way, technology is a 10, 15-year play. The people you capture today with technology in 10, 15 years, they're your customers for life. Because you've already introduced them using the tools that they understand and using the tools that they like. You can learn everything on YouTube. I learned how to tie gele, watching a video. Nobody taught me. I just watched a video and learned how to tie gele. There's nothing you cannot learn on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, how do I XYZ? You find it on YouTube. I remember there was a day I came home and my door was jammed. I couldn't open the door. I just went to YouTube. How do you free a jammed lock? And I got like 5 different solutions. In 20 minutes, my door was open. I unscrewed the door in 20 minutes. So there's absolutely nothing that people cannot learn on YouTube. So that's why if your business is not available, when people are doing comparison and they are shopping and they can't see anything about you on the internet or on social media, you're taking yourself out of the market. That's what you're doing. You're just basically taking yourself out of the market. Now, a lot of times people have this idea about social media, that social media is, something that small boys and girls, do. Jobless people, people that don't have work, that's what they do. But social media is so much more than that. It's become a tool for advocacy. There's a lot of political discussion that currently happens on social media. You get information. I've talked about YouTube, how you can find anything on YouTube. It's become a business place. I'll talk a little bit about business. It's where you get your news. Do you know that a lot of the newspapers now get the news from social media, then report it the next day? After we've all heard about it, then it's the next morning that the traditional newspapers are now, carrying the news. So we get our news, all those aunties and uncles that send us WhatsApp messages. That's where we get our news now, from WhatsApp. Then entertainment. MTV recently published some data that their 18 to 35-year-old audience is no longer on TV. Music television, MTV. Their 18 to 35-year-old audience is no longer on TV. They're now on YouTube. So they watch the music videos more on YouTube than television. So what does that tell you about the future of television going forward? Netflix now has more subscribers in the US than all the cable stations put together. Netflix. So what does that tell you about the future of television? Then relationships. People meet and date via different dating apps. You see a lot of stories on Twitter. We met in the DM, and now we're here. So even the nature of relationships is beginning to change because, of the internet. I met this lady a couple of years ago. Her name is Stephanie Busari. She's the supervising producer for CNN Digital. A few years ago, I got a random message on Facebook, an inbox message. And she noticed that I was in London at the time, so she sent me a message because I post stuff about travels and things like that. She sent me a message and she said, "Oh, I noticed you're in town. Would you like to have a drink?" At the time, I had no idea who she was. I just went to Facebook. I looked, okay, do we have any friends in common? I just went to look at her profile, blah, blah. I saw, okay, CNN, okay, maybe it's a business-related meeting. So, of course, I accepted her friend request and then agreed that we would meet to have drinks. Fast forward a few years later, she relocated to Nigeria. And then, of course, because we had made that initial contact via Facebook and via going out for initial drinks, a few years later, she's now in Nigeria. And she's now one of my closest friends. This is someone I met on Facebook. Relationships are changing. Networking. There is nobody you want to meet in this world. I remember during the days of the Fugees, for those who are music historians, in the Fugees you had Praz, you had Wyclef Jean, and you had Lauryn Hill. I remember I once met a member of the Fugees online, just having a random conversation, and he just popped up and we just started having a discussion about Africa randomly. There's nobody you want to meet in this world that you cannot connect with via technology. So all those people who are saying, I want to network, your network is on social media. Your network is on LinkedIn, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. You can meet more people than you would have ever imagined on social media. Now, I said I was going to talk about business. Before I go into statistics, I started an online course for investment. So I teach about 7 different places you can invest in Nigeria. And I started a course. It's a WhatsApp and video course. And how did I start? I started writing about investment. So I was, a bit angry at the banks at the time, at the ridiculous rates that the banks were giving, savings account holders. So I decided I was going to do my research, and I was going to find out where are the places people actually invest and make money in Nigeria. So in doing the research, I started writing. I just started writing on my blog, on Facebook, on Twitter about investment. And then I got a call from a bank in Nigeria. And the bank said, oh, we noticed you write about investment. You seem to have a lot of following and all of that. Would you like to be a corporate wealth representative for the bank? Of course, I said yes. Then I got a call from a securities brokerage firm, a stock trading firm. And they said, oh, we noticed you write about investment. People seem to follow you. Would you like to be a corporate wealth rep? Of course, I said yes. Now, the information I had at my disposal, simply from having access to the data reports from these 2 organizations, it occurred to me that if I have this information, I can sell this information through an investment course. So I put up a notice on Facebook and I said, oh, how many people are interested? I'm thinking of doing this 3-day course on WhatsApp. I'll do a couple of videos, blah, blah, blah. 100 people signed up from one post on Facebook. Now, the point I'm trying to make is I've only met 5 of those people in my life. If any of those 95 other people pass me on the street, I wouldn't know who they are. Now, to deepen this, 5 of the people I've met are Nigerians. 95% of the people who signed up don't live in Nigeria. So already I've created an international market without having to travel. Just from sitting down in my house typing on Facebook, I've created an international market without doing any serious marketing, just sitting down in one place and monies are coming in. That's the power of the internet. That's how the internet helps you galvanize your sales and your marketing. Now I'm going to quickly show you some stats and then we're going to go into how. Penetration rate of WhatsApp is 41%. WhatsApp is the biggest business platform in technology right now in Nigeria. So if you're not using WhatsApp well, WhatsApp has just released WhatsApp Business. It's a tool to help businesses sell on WhatsApp. Facebook is also about 41%. So Facebook is also a major marketing platform and sales platform in Nigeria. And then Instagram and YouTube have a penetration rate of about 25%. So as a business, I would focus my effort on WhatsApp and Facebook before going to Instagram and YouTube. Okay? Because that's where the market, but again, it depends on your product. If your product is very visual, you might want to use YouTube because of videos. If you want to do explainer videos, it might be better for you to use YouTube. The highest search results in Nigeria about music. Music has the highest search results, followed by fashion. Does that give you ideas of the kind of products you should be selling? Music and fashion, Nigerians are obsessed with music and fashion. I thought sports would have been, among the top two, but apparently music and fashion are the top two topics that are searched for online by Nigerians. These are Google trends, what Nigerians searched for in 2017. Number one is Buhari dead. That was the highest search result in Nigeria in terms of questions in 2017. People are searching, how do they check their JAM results? How do they check their WAEC results? This is what Nigerians are interested in. Evans the kidnapper. Then if you look at how to, when people go to Google and they say how to or how do I, the top result, how to write applications for jobs. That's what Nigerians are looking for. So it begins to tell you these are product opportunities for people who can answer these questions. How do I write an application letter? How do I install software? Apparently Nigerians want to know how to install software. How do I root my Android phone? Is a major search item on Google. How do I cook soups, meal and then rice dishes? Isn't this a business opportunity for caterers? People want to learn how to cook soup and rice-based dishes. They want to know how to bake cakes and make pancake. So just mining the data, just finding out what Nigerians are interested in, it's a huge product opportunity. Now, how do you begin? I've said all this grammar. How do you start? The first thing is please register for Google Business. If you run a business in Nigeria, register for Google Business. Please, please, please. And then optimize your platforms. It's not enough to have a website. Can your website do payments? So I've looked at your product, I want to buy. Can I pay on your website without leaving? So do you have a payment partner, that's plugged into your website? I know Paystack is going to be talking a little bit during this conference. So you need to talk to Paystack so that you can integrate payments into your website. And then there's something called Google remarketing. When someone searches for chicken, and then goes to your website, and then everywhere they go, they just keep seeing adverts from your website on chicken. That's Google remarketing, because it's a keyword they're searching for, and your website just happens to sell chicken. So everywhere they go, if they just happen to stumble on your website for the first time, everywhere they go, they keep being followed by adverts from your website. So have you optimized your platforms? Facebook has a similar technology, Facebook Pixel. So all of these things you must optimize. Your web developer must be one of your major resource persons as a business. If you have to hire a web developer to get it done, it's one of the best investments you can ever make. Your web developer is one of the most important resource persons you have as a business owner. Can people find your contact information quickly? So when I go to your website, I can see your phone number, your email, all your social media platforms immediately. And then do I have enough information without having to call you? Is that information very clearly spelled out up to the point where I click buy? Is the information clear? All of this must be done before you can start selling. I have 3 minutes more. Then you need to utilize what is called keyword search. On Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, people are searching for all sorts of things. They're talking about all sorts of things. So what I do is that I have a keyword search set up for investment in Nigeria. So anytime anybody types investment in Nigeria on Twitter, I get a notification because that's a topic I want to engage on. So if anybody types, how do I invest in Nigeria, I get a notification so that I can quickly engage that person and sell my products. So you need to take advantage. All these tools are free. So when someone types cake in Ibadan, does your website show up? Do you get a notification so that you can quickly engage that person on Twitter offering your service as a cake maker in Ibadan? These are free tools that you can take advantage of. Then speak and engage. Interrupt conversations. When conversations are happening on Twitter that concern me, I'm not polite. I interrupt. Because I'm engaging, I'm selling my product. So as long as it's a conversation that has something to do with my product, I invite myself to the conversation. That's how you engage on social media. You provide information, provide useful links to articles that might interest them. So you're also helpful. As part of your engagement, you're helpful. So these are all things, so speak and engage, speak and engage. And then don't take yourself too seriously. You know, this was ASOS, they misprinted a letter on their carrier bag. So instead of spelling online, they spelled ONILNE. And they came on Twitter and they just said, they laughed about it. It was, you know, so we may have printed 17,000 bags with a typo. We're calling it a limited edition. So sometimes you make mistakes on social media. That's not the time to close your accounts. Own your mistake and laugh about it. Don't take yourself too seriously. And then be known for something. The same way that I was writing about investment, and then people came to, you know, organizations recognized what I was writing about. Be known for something, whatever your subject matter is, so that when people search for that subject matter online, they find you. So be known for something and be very consistent. Be very consistent. So don't say you're tired. Write. It may take your time. Do those videos. Write. You may think people are not really paying attention, but Google is indexing all that information. You may think you're not having an impact now, but there's an index going on. And before you know it, when people type that subject matter, your website or your YouTube page or whatever is going to pop up. And then finally, please mine your data. This is what I mean. The lady I bought ice block from and the caterer that I bought from, they made a very big mistake. When someone comes to you like that you do not market, you should prioritize them as a customer, because it means that these are people who came with their own 2 feet to look for you. You didn't spend any money market, so shouldn't you collect their contact information? Shouldn't you send them a follow-up in 1 month? Are you still interested in ice block? You should prioritize them. You should even find out, how did you get to know about me? So as a business, you need to mine your data. Find out who are the people that give you the most business within a quarterly period. How can you turn them into more regular customers? Who are the people that you do not market but yet came to meet you? How can you, turn them into more regular? Mine the data. There are a lot of opportunities in the customer data that you have. You need to learn to mine that data. So at this point, I'm going to shut up and then hopefully take some questions during the interactive session. Thank you.
Well, I hope you really got a lot from that. Like we said, we have follow-up to this conference website called business.summitexpo.com.ng. Can you register there? We're going to appeal to our speakers to give us their materials, which we will upload to that site so you can access it. And then we're going to have service providers there. I can tell you already that Tinkling D at the back over there, they work with us at iBridge Hub, are ready to help you do your Google My Business instantly here. They've gotten permission from Google to approve your Google My Business once they can confirm your details. And all that is free of charge here right now. So please take advantage of that. I'm going to ask them to slightly adjust the stage. Mr. Demola Davis is going to come up in a few minutes to handle the interactive session. But before he does that, I want to give an opportunity to our main sponsors, Bank of Industry, Mr. Ike Ahmed is the regional head for this city, this region, to just come up and say a word to you, and then I'm going to ask the DG of Dawn Commission to say a word, and somebody from the government office to say 1 or 2 words while we get this place ready. So all this should take maximum 10 minutes, but they'll use that opportunity to make our guests as comfortable as possible and check their microphones so we don't do testing mic. All right, we've gone past that a long time ago. Thank you very much. We'll give you about 3 minutes, sir.
Good afternoon, all. And all protocol observed. Like he has rightly introduced me, I'm the Regional Manager, Bank of Industry, Southwest Operation. Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim Kagara. Am I going there too? No. Okay. So, of course, the organizers of this program, particularly Mr. Francis, uses public contact and his online connection and fish out Bank of Industry and approach Bank of Industry online. I don't know him. We have not met him. He fish us online and send a proposal and say he believes a bank like Bank of Industry should be interested in a program of this nature. And my colleague over there, the manager of Bank of Industry, Oyo State, Mr. Parkins, he came to me, he said, this is what he received. I said, who are these people? You know, this is Nigeria again, Oga. You see, it is important we talk about this online. There's no doubt about it. There is no argument. But of course, we must bring trust in our society, trust. That trust is the most critical thing that will make life much, much more easy for Nigerian business people. From our experience, like China, for example, I think I can say that they are the most, somehow, I can say, difficult people to deal with, either due to communication problem, and they so much believe in themselves. So, anything Nigeria, for us in the bank, we have discovered this from the other part of the world. You need to convince somebody who you want to even buy his product to even deal with you, because they are a Nigerian, for that matter, unfortunately. But we will get there. That is not the topic. But I believe that trust, we have this kind of discussion. If we instill trust on ourselves. In fact, we are hoping to see a situation which we have started. People will apply for loan to Bank of Industry online. We will process it online. And we disburse the money to you online. And we expect you to pay online without really coming to the branch. You don't need to come to the bank. But we will only do it again when that trust is still there. Because when I release my money, I don't want to start calling the line or calling the website. It's blocked, it's closed. Or when we try to visit the place and say, let's go and see the business, they say, who are you? From where are you coming from? We say, Bank of Industry. What happened? We say, so. Are you a Nigerian? Or are you really a banker? What kind of banking are you doing? So these are some of the issues. I'm fortunate to have listened to this, of course, the 3 speakers that have spoken before I come on board. I have learned a lot. I'm not only here to represent the Bank of Industry, I'm representing myself. Because what I have learned within these few minutes of my stay here, even if the bank asked me to say, my brother, it's time for you to go home and sleep, they will not remove the thing that I have learned from this place. So I enjoyed these three speakers, Madam Sumobi, Tayo, and of course Tunde. I enjoy Doctor, Madam, you have opened our eyes. So really, when we review what Oga sent to us, we said this is a good idea. And for us as a development bank, as a development institution, anything that will make our people, that will make our business guys, entrepreneurs do better, do well, the bank is willing to support. We have discovered that in the Bank of Industry, it's not about money, madam. Money don't take you anywhere. It's the knowledge. You need to have knowledge of what you are doing and how you are going about it before money should come. If money comes before knowledge, it's terrible. We have seen it. So the bank is willing to spend some little resources and partner with agencies like Subomi organization. And madam, we are so much interested with what you said. I was saying that we will follow you to get your contact. Yeah, because she said when people want to do business, I want to invest, she received alert. And we will come for those alerts. We want to know those people who want to invest, particularly in Nigeria and in particular also in the Southwest where we are operating now. Bank of Industry is willing and ready. Our challenge is getting the right people. Government has been spending money, a number of schemes in the past, billions and billions of naira and dollars have been going through different schemes by the government in this country. But what are we getting? We are not getting the best of what we desire. So we have some little resources, which we are also making effort in getting more resources, both in Nigeria and abroad. We have several lines of credit from African Development Bank, from many other banks, Afrexim, African Export-Import Bank, and so many other banks in the world, in Germany. Even the Islamic Bank, we are in discussion with them for those who want non-interest banking products. So, but we need the right people. Let us get the right people. I enjoyed this brief, like I said. When Madam was talking, I was just, well, I even talked to my colleague. Just this weekend, in my house, because I launched my kitchen, sorry. I needed something to eat, and I didn't know how to do it. I Googled it. In fact, it was yamarita I wanted to eat for my breakfast. I said, how do I do it? I'm alone in the house. I took my phone. I Googled it, how to make yamarita, and the thing came out. They say, is it video, image? I pick video. Cut the yam, I cut the yam. Slice the egg, I put it. And before I know it, I have my breakfast. So this is real. It's not story. It's practical. That's why I like this gathering. Please, for participants, Bank of Industry has sponsored some people to come here, some of our customers. And even our non-customers, we're happy you are here. We want to make you our customer. We want you to benefit from this program. There is no debate of how to go business online. There is no argument. But how to do it and how to optimize it, like Madam said, how to maximize it. Let's make use of it positively. We know there are a lot of negative things, of course. So many negative things that people do online, but we are here for the positive one. So let's get into this. Even from about some 4 or 5 years, when I went to my bank and they gave me the mobile banking software. In the past, I called my messenger in the office. I said, look, go to First Bank, withdraw 200,000. Go to UBA and put 50,000 for Mr. B. Go to Skybank and put 10,000 for A. Go to Zenith Bank and put this. But when I got that help, I sat down from my office. I debit my account by transferring to different people in any bank. Then my colleague came. He said, "Oga, you are not sending us to the bank again. Because each time I'm sending them, I will say, take this, buy lunch. Take this for your transport, and something will remain with the camp. So he said, oh, guy, you are not sending us. What is the matter? These days, you have never sent me to the bank. I said, don't worry, I've solved my problem. So, you see, the advantage of this thing is endless. Endless, endless. My dry cleaner, for example, I didn't know him. Somebody just gave me his number. I phoned him, and we exchanged WhatsApp. He told me to drop my clothes. I travel a lot within the West. Each time I'm coming to the office, I bring my clothes, drop it at the security man post in my office. The dry cleaning man will come with his car and collection. They will collect it and go. And then, of course, you deliver it and alert me that it's with my security man in the office. I pick it, and then I will see his debit advice on my email address. I'll pick the account number, take my phone, transfer money to him. I will see reply, thank you for patronizing us. So this thing is real. It's real. I don't want to waste much time. But what I want to assure you guys, Bank of Industry is there for you. Any serious entrepreneur. It's not for anybody. I used to say it anywhere. If you like, come. If you see you not meeting what we expected from you, we will say no to you. And you can go to social media and say what you want to say. Somebody who is serious and benefited from the bank, and we have proved to him what we can do, he will also go to that social media and counter you. So the equation will be balanced. So we are not in any way, we are waiting and ready. And without saying much, sir, because I know there is no much time for everybody, I want to stop at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, as